Yep.
Cool. We're hanging out, doing our thing. Star Stream is gonna mess up all the time.
Get fucked.
It's gonna be a disaster.
Right. You are live.
Oh, we are live right now. That is exciting.
Refresh your.
Yep, we're there.
I see it.
Johnny sees it. Johnny sees it.
Wow,
He's
we
there.
are
He's
live.
there. Oh man, it's live. We're there.
You can see the chat, right?
Man, look at my beard.
Yeah.
It's so big right now. You know, I shaved.
Can't start yet. It's not official.
It's not official.
What?
How nice we look.
Make it official. I'm wearing a white shirt.
But
I mean, it's not official. You know, I can see it.
Okay, and it's like y'all can. Okay, sweet. So it is live. Okay, I thought when you said it's not official, I was like, oh, it's not up. Like, what?
No, I just meant we're not starting. We're ignoring everyone because it's not 10 o'clock.
That's
Don't
funny.
even look at them. Don't look at Neville.
Don't look at people's face. It's early.
Tripping Glass, Tom, no one.
This is like the preamble. We're coming
This
in
is
slowly. I said it was so hot this week. I had to get
God.
out my only white shirt I have.
I thought I was.
I was.
There's some facial hair.
Who? Which
Bastard.
one? Me?
That's what they said.
It is funny. Like I just looked at it in the stream feed. I was like, wow, that is impressive. Like that's wow, weird. I did trim it last night. Maybe that was what did it.
Everybody's like, what? Oh, damn it. We did make an eye contact. Damn it.
We did. What did we do?
Never look up. I can't. They said it's too late. You made an eye contact.
It's like when you're in a
That's true.
througsome with your mate. You got to be
That's
careful
right.
to make
You
an eye
can't
contact.
go looking over the, what do you call it? The Eiffel Tower. Or whatever it is.
That's disturbing as all get out.
Tom is driving to Asheville and live streaming us. Tom, don't die when you do that.
Oh my lord, this is disturbing. This is disturbing right now.
It's not disturbing.
Oh God, we're right there. Look how pretty we look.
Look at us. We are early. We're trying something slightly different, so we couldn't do our little.
And I'll
fun,
mention this later at 10. Like our main man Derek's on vacation.
Yep.
And so we're doing this sans. It's gonna be disastrous in so many ways, probably.
It probably is. I don't know.
But maybe
Seems like
okay.
it sounds, Sean, how was he sounding?
Sounds good on my phone. But,
That's all that
everybody
matters.
else think? Everybody else good?
The mighty wood. Yeah, can you guys hear us and everything? Okay. I can see that you can see us. Obviously.
Tom, I need the master Beatty to tell me how it's going.
He's there, right?
Tom can't be
I know
saying
he's
stuff. He's
the
driving.
car.
It's cool. Almost kill yourself, Tom, to let us know how it sounds.
Tom,
Thumbs up, Tom. Come on.
it's very quiet. All right.
Come on.
I'm
It
gonna
is
push
very
the
quiet.
button just a
Man, I like these are some funny comments so far. That's really good. Now we're coming in. We got another one.
Honey Picks is in Oak Island.
Honey Picks.
Probably not the one in Canada for the TV show. Probably the one in North Carolina.
Let me find that
For all
pic I
you
like.
non-North Carolina one people. I don't know if you were on Honey Picks. If you guys were on when we said we had converted Baxter.
Well, I mean,
But it's
just
kind of amazing.
not totally. I'm still
Close enough. Close enough. He's
Kinda
got
funny. I
it.
got so much stuff in my pockets. It's
I see him eyeing my big Honey Picks too.
It's like a
He's gonna
purse.
steal one day. He's
Like,
gonna
what's
do
in
that.
my
I'll be like,
pocket is
"Where's my
absurd.
where,
I watched that man get it.
where's my peak? Where's my peak?"
I
pick?"
found it.
Feel
I
good
found
about
it.
the show.
I also got a plus.
He picked up that pick. He said, "Oh,
Let me get close to the
Wow.
camera.
It is.
Tell me if that's in good. Like, how's that, Jonathan?
That's a great one. God, you got that one?
Can you
You get closer." Yeah.
See how this one?
Yeah.
This is the honey pick that I really like. I don't know if that. So honey pick guy.
It's all blurry. It's
Oh
fine.
crap!
Here, let me see.
Johnny will describe it the best that he can.
Little Kieranite action.
What's the thickness on that one? You know?
This feels to
It's
me
not that thick. It was one of the thinner ones.
like a 1.5 or a 2 maybe.
Hopefully one. Yeah, probably two.
This is a nice shape.
I like that.
Where'd
That's
you get
the
this one from?
I got it from Senior Honey Picks at the Asheville Guitar Show.
I like the little thing on it.
I did too. It has like a sort of a sex appeal to it.
God, that's good.
And myself and this other fella from Chaos.
Here's your other his other specialty pick.
I mean, well, we have a game.
Child's block.
We have a game in the house. Like whichever kid finds the last plus gets a reward, and the reward's like they always forget that there is a reward. There's no reward.
Is that what you call this thing? Is a plus
It's
plus?
plus. You never seen pluses?
Yeah, but I didn't know you called them plus pluses.
That's what they're called, man.
Oh.
And that was, I mean, I don't know. I make up names for all sorts of crap.
That's fair.
It's stupid.
I mean, it makes sense. It is the plus
I mean,
plus.
I have so many picks in my pocket. Like this is like my one pocket. You know.
Let's compare.
What do you got?
Everyday carry dump. we're like the gun channels.
Was that? Oh yeah, right on, man. I think we're in the same ballpark.
Well, see, because if I have picks that I love, and I'll lose them if I don't carry them. I'll never lose them in my pocket. Like
no, I same. I'm like,
and tonight, this is a lot of information for you guys. I'm gonna take these pants off tonight, and I'm gonna drape them sort of ceremoniously
they don't
beside my
fall?
bed so that my picks don't fall out. And in the morning, I'm gonna just put these back up.
I put my
back
pants
on.
on my dog's kennel. She sleeps in the kennel.
I'm just saying, I'm going to wear these pants for at least another week and a half.
And I have checks in a plastic bag for some reason.
That's impressive. That's like old man. That's straight. Like
No,
I was going to say old lady, but you're
that
not
was
old
totally
lady.
accidental.
That's like
I went to the
okay.
bank to deposit, and then I think I had too much to deposit for one day, so I had to let me take this back with me. And I was like, I got some of my kids' snack bag in my pocket or something.
What's up, Mark? Tom says, do you wash your picks with your pants? No.
I don't wash my pants.
That would be atrocious. Yeah, we barely wash our pants.
Because
you don't what kind of
heathen
what kind of crazy man washes their jeans? Exactly. But
I wash my jeans once every multiple months.
This is probably psychological, but I feel like if a pick does go in the washing machine by accident,
makes it better.
No, it gets all shiny and slippery. It's like, damn it!
It's like if you put your harmonica in a cup of
Don't
water. No,
do
it makes it better for the show, but then it's
Does
trashed afterwards. It's amazing. Yeah, but
Ew.
you're destroying your harmonica. Harmonica tip 101. Okay, we're almost there. It's almost 10 o'clock. That's when we can officially start.
Yeah, this was all free. This was all pre-rambling.
This is free. You didn't have to you didn't have to pay for this content right now.
Mighty Woodrow.
Free stuff.
Listen, Mighty Woodrow's going to swing by his place and get his Clapton shirt on before he comes to. Sean, surprise, our 90s cover band is all 90s Clapton.
It's 10 o'clock now.
We're just going to be playing Journeyman over and over and over. That's when I knew we were pretending.
God, whenever that song comes on the radio, I listen to it though.
Because it's amazing. What do you mean? You say that as if that's some shame upon you.
Well, no, because a lot of 90s of our icons.
I'm not going to lie, guys. I do listen.
No, I do. I have a secret love for 90s Clapton.
It's amazing.
I do, because I saw him in the Journeyman tour, and it was. Remember, my dad was racing from South Carolina to get us to the Dean Dome where he was playing in Chapel Hill, I think. And we got there. We walked in and he was just playing the opening number, which was "Sunshine Your Love." I walked. It was like the heavens were parting. I heard imagine "Sunshine Your Love" being played by the guy that played it as loud as you can. Use your teenage 15-year-old self or whatever.
That's gonna feel like a cool moment.
Yeah, I was either 14 or 15. It was amazing.
I'd like to. Yeah.
Dun, dun. It might not even been the opening song. That's just the song I heard when we walked in. Yeah.
So someone said I was busting Sean's balls with the Clapton shirt. There was when we were legit for a few weeks of live stream talking trash about Clapton a lot. Sean was. I don't know if everybody noticed, but if you look back, I wore this shirt 4 Wednesdays in a row.
Yeah, we're the Clapton fans.
I would just show up and be like,
Sean's our Clapton disser.
Yeah.
We're.
I'm gonna have to get some new Clapton shirts because this one's more in this one out. But
and then we have to talk. Do you like the Clapton, the Fender era Clapton? Of course. Do you like the Gibson era Clapton? Yes. Do you like Derek and the Dominoes Clapton?
I just
don't like Derek and the Dominoes.
Eric Clapton, just in general.
I thought you said
I'll take Blind Faith, Eric Clapton. My God.
I'll take Babyface Clapton.
Any of it.
Sorta.
When he goes through his nerd phase, where he's got the curly hair and the glasses all the time.
the little beanie glasses there.
That
is funny. His little short haircut. Yeah. I'm just at Clapton.
It's me. But I like it most when he has the sort of 70s mullet, feathered kind of weird thing with bangs. That's when he just looks amazing.
Okay, wait, what changes to ask there?
What do you set your tone and volume at before you plug in your guitar?
On the amp or the guitar? What does that question mean?
That's a good question. Shane, do you mean on your amp or your guitar?
We're going to answer both.
I mean, on my guitar, my volume's always down. My tone is always up.
When you plug it in, or just when you start?
I just have a habit of going play, volume off. But I don't touch the tone that way.
Okay. I keep everything full on my guitar.
The guitar. He wants to know the guitar.
Yeah, I keep it all.
I do tend to roll down my volume.
I roll down the tone if I'm playing a Strat. Sometimes on the middle or the bridge pickup when I'm playing position number 2. If I'm playing with fuzz or distortion type of, I don't play with pedals, but if I have the amp barking loudly, I'll do that some. I love that because it gives you that sort of hybrid.
Listen, we got a little comment from the text section. This is my wife.
Uh-oh.
Christy, are you still watching? Yes, she does watch.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you still with me, baby?
She also got mad at me the other week because I was a little potty mouthed on here.
Oh, so she's censoring you now.
No. She watches all the time. I told you guys. Christy watches. But listen,
all the stuff I've said about you and all the ladies that love you.
She says, for someone who didn't wash their picks, I sure as shit pull plenty out of the dryer. That's what my text says.
Your wife just cussed.
Exactly. I was forced to say that out loud because of the text. There's no telling what kind of I'm going to take for that. But it's worth it because I'm gonna say there's not that many. I mean, there might have been a time in our life when I didn't play ridiculously expensive picks that maybe they were tried. I feel like that's not the case so much anymore.
That is the case.
I just like to. I just
Hey,
like
Sean.
to.
Oh, we adjust the mic
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it in tighter.
I'm sorry. I'm the yeller.
closer to Baxter.
Now they're gonna be like, Jonathan is so loud.
I don't get so excited.
He's so loud.
Oh,
He's so loud.
everything.
Well, again, so now it's past 10 o'clock again. Our fearless behind-the-scenes camera guy, Derek, is not here today. He's on vacation, and we're going to be having a smaller output of videos. Still some videos coming out, hopefully, but the output will be slower for the next few weeks here. But that'll be okay, though, because we're having there's summer vacations are upon us.
For sure.
I have to leave town next week as well. Derek's leaving town now, and he leaves town again. I don't know where he's going, and then somewhere exotic, probably. I just go to strange places, like guitar shows.
Albuquerque,
New Mexico. I would like to go to Albuquerque.
I'd go to Albuquerque.
I don't think I've ever been there. Anyway.
I'm trying to get Christy to comment on the actual chat. Tell her she should actually
Does she know how to
comment.
do that?
We might be the first girl we've ever had
I
comment.
think I found Christy. I think it is. They were right. He's so loud. They commented 2 times. So I'm like, that's got to be Christy talking about you, right?
Probably.
It reminds me of that Shane Gillis skit
He's so loud.
on YouTube
That's what.
with the mattresses. And when the guy calls and complains, like, oh, are you a man or woman? And he's like, I'm a man. He's like, oh, you're the first guy that's ever called.
My goodness.
It's like, what a great
Boys,
anti-complaint pitch.
Gosh.
What do you got? Oh, what happened? What
we
happened?
just got $20 for fireworks or Taco Bell.
Dude, and okay, but say I just bought a bucket load of fireworks
Did you?
for my kids. Because when I was down in South Carolina,
That's the best place.
and I found the coolest one, state, the last one before you enter into North Carolina towards the coast. It wasn't coming back this way. Because I was going north, and I bought so many bottle rockets, and I was like, kids, they don't know what that is. Not bottle rockets, Roman candles. They don't know what Roman candles are.
Dude, Christy did comment right there.
Man, Chris Turner, thank you so much, dude.
She commented. Christy's up here. Christy is in the chat, guys.
Where's Christy?
Right here, right above Man
Oh, yeah.
McCheese. I can't. We're not doing our little StreamYard thing today, so I can't. It'd be really funny if I reported her comment.
Well, Daniel from Port City's in there. He's talking about they're doing a summer amp building class. Okay, so if in Charlotte, not in the mountains, that's 18 hours away. That's pretty smart. So if you guys don't know who Daniel is, he's the founder and the impresario of Port City Amps, one of the finest amplifier companies, not just in North Carolina, but the nation.
Just kind of all around.
Maybe the world, because I think American amps are the best, and Victory sort of is in there too. But they're kind of American, but British Americans.
British American. That's not the same thing.
But Daniel Klein, Port City Amps, and he's doing a summer amp building class, it looks like, in Charlotte. So if you want any more information on that, he'll probably pop in the chat here. But also, just check out Port City.
Yeah.
It's going to be on their websites, and we'll put Daniel's personal cell phone and his home address below in the comments as well later, just so you can search them out. And don't worry, for those of you that miss Sean, I will not be here the whole time.
Don't worry.
I'm just here for the opening
That's when
act.
we go uncensored.
Yes.
Casino uncut.
Yeah, that's when Sean loses his marbles and says dumb shit. And
There's a lot of talk about the state line fireworks.
that's what I was talking about.
pretty good.
That's what I was talking about, right?
Because listen, you can buy fireworks here in the good old state of North Carolina, but they're disappointing. They just I had this talk with one of my students yesterday. You buy them, they look cool on the photo, on the packaging. You set them on the ground and they go.
You can't blow up
They
nothing.
fizz and sparkle.
Snakes, you know.
Yeah, the ones when I went to the South, it was called State Line Fireworks, I think, too, or something.
State line, that's it. That's the one.
Is that the name of the place?
I believe it is. Yeah.
And the girls were there were so nice, amazing people. There's country folk, and I was so happy. And like one of them was like, "Listen, you like Roman candles? Let me show you this machine gun." I was like, "Say what?" And it was a machine gun like the Terminator, like a Gatling gun, and it has like a barrel that rotates and it shoots candles. I was like, "Oh, how much is that?" Like $150. I'm like, "That's it. I'll take 20." I didn't buy any, but because I'm cheap. But I bought them a bunch of Roman candles. I got one gun that shoots 280
See, that's
shots
amazing.
in one.
I mean, like until you've had little kids shoot at you with Roman candles,
Well, they don't. They were like, "What do we do with this?" I'm like, "You shoot each other."
you shoot each other.
They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, does it hurt?" I'm like, "Yeah, if it hits you in the face, it hurts. It's fire." But that's why you don't have beards yet.
That's right. That's right.
God
When
saw
I was a
us
little
having cute
kid, my father and my uncles used to let us have cigarettes to light fireworks with. They'd be like, "Don't inhale." It was like,
I stay away from the M80s.
just puff it to keep it going.
The big, did you know this about fireworks before you get into the thing? Bottle rockets have been outlawed in all but like 1 or 2 states in the nation.
Where are the states? They're illegal.
I think it was Tennessee.
That tracks.
And it wasn't Kentucky, which I thought it'd be Kentucky for sure. It was some other like random state, like I don't know, maybe Ohio or something.
This is a great comment by Tom.
Go.
Do not hold, do not point at people. Now here's a machine gun. That's exactly how fireworks work. It's like, don't ever do this.
It was like my childhood fantasy. I was and the store is so big, and it was so nice. And they do the importing and exporting. I think importing. They don't export. You just export South Carolina stuff, but they import the fireworks themselves. They own one of the companies, so they get it for a cheaper price. And it was like I was shocked at how affordable it was. I mean, I probably spent like $50 and have like a giant collection of fireworks.
There you
It
go.
was amazing. Yeah, it was awesome. And shout out, Daniel Port City again. Thank you for saying thank you, but man, we got you, dude. We I hope that goes well.
We got you.
I like when is? Did he say when it is? I saw him say.
He did say at one point. I just don't remember
Okay.
where it was.
Okay, cool. Amp Building's on his website. Just check it out, everybody.
Yep, for sure.
That's something cool because like that'd be something cool. We've always talked about doing that at some point. He'd probably let us do it for free because he likes us so much.
Frederick says, "Where is Sean today?" Sean is actually right behind the old camera. He's coming this way.
He's coming
here in a
soon
minute.
enough. We talked about that earlier. I'm just the opening act. When you want to get some real hot takes, Sean's coming here. He's here to make fun of Jonathan's shirt and all sorts of other things. Again, I'm wearing a white shirt in homage to the
Coming
heat.
for you.
The heat.
It's actually nice today.
Today is the nicest day. It's raining. We're supposed to have a baseball game today, boys.
Fingers crossed, no baseball.
Got to go crush some little kids' spirits, souls, yell at them.
You can do
I know. I can't wait to watch Talladega Nights with my kids. We're there now. We're ready.
We like our last baseball game. It was so hot we had to stop it. This little kid in the outfit got dizzy, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Well, Johnny
Probably-
Wolf, my
probably should do this.
nephew, who is number 10 in the nation at tennis in his
That
age
is
group right now.
insane.
It's insane. He's insanely good.
He's good looking though.
Yeah, we'll get in that later. But it's problems. I've had to talk to his mother about
he's
that.
He's great looking.
Yeah, he's a good looking kid. He's really good at classical piano. He plays guitar.
And Johnny, I mean, like, how
sings.
do you have a name like that? This your
Johnny
real
Wolf.
name?
Johnny Wolf.
I mean, it's dope.
That's
And
like being Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. That's like that being your real God-given name.
no, but I was
not your
about
stage
the
name.
Heat though. He was kicking butt in this national tennis tournament and Cary over the weekend. And I think 2 people that he was supposed to play withdrew because of the heat. Johnny like thrives in the heat. He's like, heat doesn't affect me. But I saw a boy drinking water. I took him to lunch, and he's like, thump, thump, like just cups of water. It was weird.
Listen, there was a time in my life where I just didn't believe in water. I never drank. Nothing that ever passed my lips was real actual water. Like as a child, it was like Mountain Dew or Kool-Aid or, you know, exactly, right? Whiskey. But, you know.
Okay, the
what
Mighty
kids
Woodrow's
drink.
comment is the best comment of the day. Baxter, Jimi Hendrix, and you two are the Monkees.
Son of a- I thought I loved you, Woodrow.
Which one's Davy Jones?
I thought I loved you.
Daydream believer.
Hey, the Monkees probably made a lot more money than Jimi Hendrix.
They lasted a lot longer.
Somebody
Well,
said I
that's-
should get
could be
a
more.
Clapton tattoo.
I think you should. We could get matching Clapton tattoos.
I would get a Clapton tattoo.
I feel like you're about to say I have to get some bullshit like, I don't know.
Something insane. I can't even think of it. I don't want it to be
Radiohead.
That's lame. Yeah, like, I need it to be like.
Okay, computer. I'm just
Kid A.
Whatever. Like that's real music. I'm about to get in so much trouble. I'm about to get in so much trouble.
Jonathan doesn't like anything that ventures outside of the pentatonic.
Listen, I
Scares him.
love.
Radiohead
I love
barely
non-pentatonics.
does sense.
I mean-
at least with Ed O'Brien.
All right, we gotta talk about our
He's in the
pal.
weeds now.
Listen, Brian Carpenter. He made it home safely from this past weekend's trip. Brian drove all the way from like Detroit to come hang out with us.
Oh, is that who's online right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I
And
was
to get his custom shop.
I wasn't gonna say his name.
Oh, no, we're totally saying his
Okay,
name.
say his
He's
name.
right here.
No, because I was at Brian. I'm so happy. I was gonna call you today. I knew you were back, but it was awesome seeing you. I'll call
It
you
was
still
awesome
later.
seeing you.
It
I
was,
was playing at my little lame acoustic gig, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Brian Carpenter. I hope we weren't really upset about the Steve Lukather thing." I was like, "Dude, no, we're just messing around." And but
My favorite
Brian's
comment.
awesome.
My
Dude.
favorite comment about Brian was when I sent Sean a picture, and Sean's return was like, "He's much more attractive than I thought he would be." And I was like, "He is much more attractive because you talk to someone on the phone for like a year or so, and like you just get an impression of what they're gonna look like, and that was not what I was expecting. He's a good-looking dude.
He's a good-looking dude, a top golfer.
I feel like he could be a cleaner as far as a hitman type cleaner. That's sort of like Harvey Keitel that shows up at your house after like you've messed up and you've blown some kid's head off in the back of your car. I feel like that
It's
could be
okay,
his
we
side
got
job.
it. You tossed him the gold coin like a John Wick.
No, that was It was special for me too. I love spending the 2 hours just hanging out, man.
Seriously, it was very cool.
And it got me to pull away from my kid's pool birthday party, which was awesome too, because it's so hot outside. I was like, no problem, I'll be right there.
I'll be right there.
I didn't see your email that you were coming until the next day or something. I thought you were coming on Sunday, so I was like, this is awesome. I'll see you later, son. I gotta go. I'm meeting with a friend from Ohio, Detroit area. Ohio's not in Detroit, or Detroit's not in Ohio, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, God, when he was telling me like I left that night and I got like to Ohio, I was like, and I took a nap. I was like, Jesus, that's a long drive still. You still got like 7 hours to roll, brother.
So like 16 hours of driving or something?
I feel like it's a 10-hour round trip, 10 hour each way.
Yeah, so
I think.
20 hours basically.
Yeah, I think he did a turn and burn too, and like he got to see. But you know, the guitar we ordered is an homage to a family member. That's the rest of the story's private.
Yep.
But
Dude, I would do that. I mean, that's like a once in a lifetime trip.
it meant something to me too. I don't get emotional very often because I'm a man of a certain time period, and I was taught not to cry or show emotions and bottle up and let that become a cancer later, and then fight like
11
yourself.
hours, man. That's
11
one
hours.
way.
Yeah, I knew it was 10
that's just you know.
I think it would have been 10 hours if he wasn't like noodling his guitar the whole way back.
He had to keep stopping.
I don't even know what kind of car he was driving.
I do think the idea of like a guitar like that is like a memorial kind of thing, kind of awesome. People might not get that if they don't love guitars, but I don't know. I just think that's a really good idea.
Well, that's something I said when I first walked in the shop, and Sean and I were just talking, just like, hey, Sean was here, boom, we were like right on time, like crushing it, and I said, you know, that's my favorite guitar in the shop right now. I pointed to one of the guitars, and I was like, that is neat that I still get that buzz when I walk into the shop.
Yeah,
there's
for
like
sure.
a guitar that I'm like, I'm into that guitar. I wish I could have that guitar, but I can't because my wife will murder me if I keep bringing guitars. She's like, why is there a case here? I'm like, I don't know, it just
It's
showed
for
up.
the shop.
It's fun.
You got it easy. You can just be like, yeah, it's for the shop. It's on
You have a
consignment.
she shed. I can hide them in the
do.
shop,
That's true.
but I want them
That's
to be
true.
near me so I can like sleep with them.
I have a she shed. I worry about my guitars in the she shed. I worry about the humidity. So most of the amps and things live there, but the guitars usually have to come into the house.
313 Detroit. I love that.
Are new guitars today seen as heirloom items or something that's life expectancy is more limited? I think it depends on
I think they can be heirloom
the guitar.
items,
I do
100%.
think that it can be heirloom items.
I still think, and maybe I'm a foolish man, and this is not a guitar salesperson speaking, but if you buy like a off-the-shelf Martin D28 or HD28 or D18 or 000 18 or 28, one of those types of their standard classic series, I feel like that's an heirloom piece. If you keep and you pass that down, is it going to be valuable like a 1938 or no? It'll never have that value because that's production numbers were different. It's not because it's a better guitar or worse guitar. I think the ones being built today are fantastic.
It would be interesting if like you could have a time machine, take one built today, take it back to the 30s, and then see it today and compare them.
And
that would
right
be
off the factory floor.
Kind of amazing.
How cool would that be?
That would be amazing.
Just to play it. That's a good. We should work. That's the same idea as like if we built a time machine. That's what we would do with it. Is the same plot equivalency as if we built a time machine and went back to not have sex with our mother instead of killing Hitler. Right? I mean, who wrote Back to the Future? It's insane. And your best friend's like a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old nuclear scientist that's been disgraced. I love this plot. It makes no sense. And to not have sex
Why
with your
not?
mother.
I mean, that's a noble,
We're going to go back
a noble cause.
And I'm all like, people, what would you do if we went back? And like, I'd go back and buy all these vintage guitars and bring them back to the future. That's what I would do. Anyway.
Bill Altman said he just picked up a 57 Black Beauty custom shop. Kind of awesome from Gibson. That's a sweet guitar. I kind of fell in love with a few of those when we were last at the Gibson garage. And that's usually not my thing.
Staple
Like,
P90s kind of do something for me. I don't know what
They're kind of
it is.
awesome. You're speaking Mayor McCheese's language.
Yeah,
He's a proponent of the staple pickup.
I don't know what it is. It's kind of like I love P90.
It's different though,
And
right?
Here's a hot take too. I'll do a Sean take. Not really. Don't. This is lukewarm water. Trust me. No, but for as far as PRS goes, everyone's like gotta have the PRS pickups. I think the PRSs with the humbuckers, the P90s sound amazing. There's something weird with that. The way their wood is built, and then you get a P90. They don't make them that often, but if you get a P90 PRS,
They are really good.
and a lot of people will switch out for Lawlers and Imperials and the lower end PRSs. 100% support that idea because I think you have a fine instrument there. That some of the pickups might be a little mid-range focused for like your likings. It depends what music you play, but if you want that more classic tonality, switch them over and like you're on fire. And the 5815 LTs are great too, but they might have too much bass push for you. You got to find the one that you like, and that's the beauty of those guitars too. It's not just Fenders that are the swapping top guitars.
So Homegrown Son's got an interesting point. He says, used to be we all desired the latest, greatest new release of instruments. And somewhere it switched to relic or vintage. I think some of that, right, is it just when those things became so expensive, the real things, like that's what everybody kind of lusts after, right? So then the closest at this point, because I mean, I do think most people lust after like a '59 reissue custom shop like Les Paul or like an R9 more than they do like the newest Les Paul Supreme. Most people at this point, I think there's a bigger market for the vintage.
Well, and I think
reissue.
a lot of that too is like, and I'm just going to talk about pure tone wise, the proofs in the pudding.
Yeah.
Like when you play, and I hate this. I hate this for myself, my pocketbook, and for everyone out there. When you play a Gibson custom shop or anything, it's frustrating how much better it is than a traditional or a standard or a Supreme.
It is frustrating. It's
It
frustrating.
doesn't make sense to me.
Because I would like an SG,
And
but you know I play the standards and they're good, but I know how much better. And I hate that I'm saying this because I wish it wasn't true. But you go play the 64 custom shops, you're like, damn.
Well, I'll
they're
sort of,
so good.
And I'll say in a parallel note with that, like when I'm talking about Fender and Fender Custom Shop, which is like, we love Fender Custom Shop. Everyone knows that. It's sort of like our number one little toy we like to yank around with and play. But the disparity between that and their production is not as far as Gibson's in my mind. That's just me. You know, there's something about like, you know, a great, and there's some stuff coming down the pipeline from Fender this fall. Stay tuned. That's going to be pretty impressive.
I wish Sean must have walked to the bathroom, but I need him to be in this discussion. But Nick says, here's the topic. How did PRS become so uncool? I don't think they're bad guitars, but in circles I play in, I wouldn't be caught on stage with one. And I think that's true in a lot of circles. And I blame Nickelback. But I mean, they did become that sort of like new metal, Creed, Nickelback.
But that was 25 years ago.
But I think some things stick with you.
I think it's like it's the market. It does this too. Like I think.
But why is it uncool? Like why is and like I do think they're
things
so
go through
pretty that we're like, oh, they're doctor
But
or
things go
blues
through
lawyer
phases.
guitars.
I don't know if I'm going to agree with that entirely, but I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying there.
Once you go down that path, man, it's hard to break out.
No, but like Fenders have like sort of cycles where like Strats or Tellys are not as cool for a while.
That is true.
You know, they don't ever get in like still Fender. Well, I think a lot of it.
I can remember when Tellys weren't that cool.
Yes.
I remember liking Tellys and people being like, oh man, Strat, and like Tellys were like country guitars.
Let's go back to Johnny Wolf for a minute. Because that's like Johnny Wolf's sort of a new electric guitar player. He's just getting into that. And he's still, that's mantra of like, well, Tellys are just for country players, right? That's still if you look up on Google or ChatGPT, that's what it's going to show you. So when you're a kid coming in, that's what you sort of think at first. I think a lot of it goes with the legacy and history of the older brands that were at Woodstock. You know, like they have this historical legacy, and that sort of, all the great pictures, all the great concerts are recorded with those guitars. And so it has this societal imprinting on us. I'm curious to see what will happen, because I have faith in this maybe. If PRS can jump into the new metal world and the progressive world a little bit harder, because right now Ibanez owns it pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Ibanez builds a great guitar at a great price. I think PRS can sort of fine tune that. I was talking with some of the guys over there, and I was like, I hope this happens one day.
I was surprised with the stuff they were willing to do on that Herman Lee, the Dragon Force Sky signature. But I mean, now that's a limited run, and they're pretty expensive, right?
Yes.
But I don't know if PRS is willing to make something like that as part of their standard line
Or their
like
SE line.
That's what I mean, like their SEs, not a core. And I think they'd have to do it in the core. I mean, in the SE, just to compete with it, because you can get, like, if that's your thing, right? If you're into that, like proggy kind of metal. What's the kid, Tim Henson, whatever.
Yep. Who my Johnny Wolf was really into as well. He's like, I want this guitar because I'm like, don't get that necessarily because you're into that for now.
But I'm saying you can get a pretty great instrument that does that thing for not crazy money from Ibanez. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even the little still like the nylon string thing, the little thin.
Yep.
You know,
the little thin line they have. If PRS can do that in the SE world as well, that and kind of capture that, because I pitch like our metal customers that come in. I'm like, this is in my opinion, is a better instrument, the PRS. It's just your artists aren't playing it right now, but maybe, and they're good with their artist relations. I will give PRS that they go after artists and they support their artists.
I mean, Mighty Woodrow has a good point. He says there are PRS models with metal guitarists Dusty Warnering and Mark Holcomb. The guys in the Opeth using the mixed stems. So it's
Yeah.
there.
Oh, no, I know.
But do you think that it's like as widespread as like a,
they need that price
Jackson
point.
or
that's where they need that lower price point. Because Jackson's has like Turnstile out right now. My wife and I were just watching their some of their show in Glastonbury last night.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was fun. It's fun
Nice.
to see him without all the vocal affectations and filters on. Just to, it sounds just like a rock and roll concert. It's cool. And watching them play simple music, but rocking.
Yeah.
They ain't playing anything that complicated. That bass player's just he's having time of his life. There are other new guitar players just hitting those cool like power chords. There ain't nothing like this. Ain't Joe Bonamassa at the at the Royal Albert Hall. But it's rock and roll and it's awesome. That's what I think.
Yeah, Glastonbury was dope, dude.
The Glastonbury was great. Like all the
Levi Perry had a guitar.
Levi Perry, yeah.
That's
Levi
cool.
with the 1975, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so Levi Perry, one of our favorite master builders with the Fender Custom Shop, he might even be watching this now because we know he's at work. He goes to work at like 5 or 4 in the morning because he's a machine.
He's insane.
We trumpet his flag all the time. He's building so many guitars for us, left and right. He does a great job every time. Except for that one. Just kidding. I just want to see if he was watching. Want to give him a little. But yeah, he had one of the. It wasn't Matt Healy. It was the guitar player, right?
No, it was Matt Healy.
Matt was playing it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Was it the one with the fuzz one?
It looked like.
Yeah, I think it was the Cyber. Like I can't remember the name of that. If Levi's on there, he can correct us. But no, it looks great. It sounds great.
Nick says, if you look at Modern Music Fest stage, let's take Glastonbury. You don't see but one PRS. Fender galore though. Could be because the cool up and coming bands play Fenders. Fender goes after those people.
Fender,
hardcore.
Fender,
like from a marketing standpoint.
Fender owns youthful festivals, 100%. I remember years ago, it was probably 2015 or 16 when I was at some Fender event, and they were talking about the breakdown. They care about it too. They said the breakdown of people playing our guitars at festivals is over 90% of the modern festivals. Like 90, like 1 or something, 2%. Then you get Gibson's in there a little bit. Ibanez is in there some. But the FMIC family, like, Fender, Gretsch, Jackson, Charvel, like that is owned by Fender.
I do think a lot of the like up and coming stuff I think of now is all that single coil kind of funky, like it's
which is
everybody
away
wants to be
from
Corey Wong. You know what I mean? It's like okay.
Or also just they're making soundscapes
and that works on those guitars.
And not in the Christian rock way with the Strymon, more like
right.
doing it differently. Or you hear what's my boy? That does the cool guitar licks. I just went blank. He's played SNL. He played 2 songs on it. And, guitar player.
With the Jazz Master?
No, he does the tape stuff.
Yeah.
McGee.
Yeah.
Full on Fender. It's like
that's what it is. Yeah.
Just even the guy that's a guitar based artist.
Yes.
Very guitar based and his.
But not in the traditional blues rock. Not Joe Bonamassa.
No, but he's a breaking out and pop hit. Fender owns that.
Clapton loves him.
Clapton loves McGee?
Yeah. Have you not heard him say that?
No.
He's like, I think that guy's really doing cool stuff. Yeah, he said he mentioned it by name, which I think is kind of cool.
That's cool that Clapton can listen to anybody.
I will say this, having played at a lot of 100-degree festivals, it is a lot comfier to play a Fender than a Gibson or a huge guitar.
Phases.
I mean, it really is true outside,
it has,
outdoor, staying in tune, not being heavy.
Yeah, because sometimes you want to have that hard rockin' humbucker sound, and it's different.
You do.
Fender doesn't do that hard rockin' humbucker sound the way Gibson does. That's different, but Charvel does something pretty cool, and then Jackson does something pretty cool too. So
that's where Turnstile, they're all Jacksons and Charvel.
Jackson and Fender. Yeah, they're endorsed by FMIC fully, and it's neat to see when you go to Guitar Player or GuitarWorld.com, they'll be Turnstile or Idols is right now. Idols is all over their ads. Which I just started turning in my family onto Idols. I've got them. Turnstile's not going to work with them. I don't think. I tried.
Sean McKenzie says, "Is the San Dimas making a comeback?" I actually feel like it is, like the Charvel stuff. I think it kind of is.
I think so.
But the shredder guitars like that, and with Gibson, I guess they have Kramer that is pulling back pretty hard. But I feel like you're seeing more and more of those.
Yeah.
Single pickup, super strat kind of guitars.
No, I like seeing that. I used to not be a fan of HSS Strats at all. I used to yuck, and then when I started getting into it, we gotta have a.
It was the honey picks for the turning point. He was like, "Throw all my old ideas out.
No.
It's all upside down."
Well, I can get into geopolitics for a minute.
Where's the pedals? Give me all the pedals.
Being a person, no, I might do that, because I like to think of myself as open to change, maybe evolving, maybe listening to. I like to think of myself as Mr. Darcy. from Pride and Prejudice. Because I want to be that man.
Here we go.
He is my fantasy man to be. He's tall, good looking, and handsome. Doesn't have to work. He gets a guaranteed $17,000 a year or something, and which is, oh my God, it's and have this estate, and Keira Knightley likes me.
A lot of money back then. That's worth something.
That is
Yes,
That's
I
worth
hear she's a
something.
handful, but I'll take it. Love that woman. I love it. If you haven't seen Pride and Prejudice or don't know, that's what the tattoo I'd get. That and the Loch Ness Monster. You know,
And zombies. Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
I don't like that. You don't mix
Baxter
the
hates
two.
it.
'Cause I love.
If you're a real Baxter aficionado, you know he hates.
I tried to
Pride,
watch it.
Prejudice,
And I
and
love the actors in it too,
no.
but I love zombies, and I keep trying to get my kids to watch World War Z because it's like an easy zombie movie. It's an action film.
Yeah.
But I mean, oh boo-hoo, you're scared. Sorry, you're
No,
six.
I Am Legend. No, I'm just
I Am Legend.
But what you saw the 28 years
Yeah.
later, whatever it's called. How you don't spoil, obviously. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Great movie. I thought it was fantastic. I highly recommend. I love Danny Boyle and Alex Garland. They're some of my
people
favorite
won't.
creative forces out there, and they took it on a turn that you wouldn't expect, which I appreciate. They try to reinvigorate the zombie genre each time and give us something new a little bit. You might hate it. Some of the visual choices are a little bit different, but expect a little bit of art with your zombie terror,
I think that's fair.
and that's okay. A little
I need
bit
to
of
watch it.
Stanley Kubrick.
I'm okay with that. I think
You know,
some highbrow zombie action.
well, you can see a lot of zombie penis. That's for sure. It's like
Things
oh,
I was not expecting.
some big zombie penis and zombie boobs.
Man. Well, there you go.
It's that zombies don't wear clothes after 20-something years, right? That's a lot.
Ned says, I think indie kids started getting into metal aesthetics a while ago to be edgy. It was all John Mayer playing that Pink Jackson with Ed Sheeran. That did it. Brought the pointy guitars. I'm just kidding. I mean, it probably did help for some.
No, like we're not really into the metal genre, like we admit that fully. But
I'd like to
love
have
it.
one shreddy guitar.
I do love the metal.
I'd like to have one shreddy guitar.
Floyd did.
You know, just a Floyd, like that hot. Listen, it's almost the year anniversary of the greatest video I've ever made.
Oh yeah,
You know,
on Friday.
it's coming up. Go and watch the Hot Dogger video. Thank you to Surrender. I do have to give old the
That's
D-man
Kramer,
little,
right?
That was Kramer. God, that's just so much fun to have a Floyd like that works. That you're like,
You never got out of tune. There's a place for it. Any other things I
Kinda
need to talk
amazing.
about before I hand this off to our favorite trash talker?
only the fact that this morning I did watch a piece because it popped up as a part of a real
Check
meme
back in my pocket.
on your plastic
My
bag.
plastic bag. I don't even know where this plastic bag came from.
It's like your parents gave you the check to go buy groceries. Like you pick something up back when people wrote checks at the grocery store, which seems insane now, but it used to happen. Remember, you
My
stand
plus
behind,
plus?
they had the little thing to write it on. My kids asked me what that thing was for the other day. Anyways,
I mean, I remember like those small little poor moments a long time ago too. Like it was a long time ago.
General, I would absolutely a hot pink super strat. Yes, I'd play it all the time. But anyways, I watched the video David Lee Roth with Yankee Rose, where like Steve Vai's making it talk and he's answering him.
Oh yeah,
That's
I know.
kind of amazing.
Well, Steve Vai.
You forget how stupidly cool and good that is.
he's a living god.
He is,
we
he is.
have a few of those, and like
His tone is better in that. Like I know that his tone in that is more for like being able to play in a band context, but it had more like bite, and I know they take that out when it's just instrumental because they want to like not grate on everyone's nerves. It's just guitar.
Nice.
But man, it was a cool tone.
well, that's when you're young and you're
You know.
angry.
And he was. He's like, wow, wow, wow.
I mean,
So cool.
I don't know how he
Anyways.
did that. It doesn't make any
It
sense
doesn't matter.
to me. at all.
Only he can do it.
Yeah, he's him and Ralph Macchio.
Well,
That's it. Anything else for me there,
the one
Johnny?
greater. I think that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna. Sean, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Come on up. You don't need my computer anymore.
Nah, I got nothing.
You read off of.
Oof. Greg McFadden says, I've always wanted a custom shop
This
Strat
is it.
HSS with a Floyd
Thanks for letting me join.
with a super. See you later, sir.
God bless you. Hand off.
Anyways, the reason I was reading that, who said that? Oh, Greg McFadden. The Nash S81s are basically that. Like the Super Strat, Floyd Rose, but with the kind of fat C neck. I've always wanted one of those. One day, boys.
I played a Kramer Beretta once. That blew my mind because the neck was so chunky on it. I was like, this is great. I'm used to them being all flat.
Because
I was
I
like,
mean,
whoa.
I used to think they were all those wizard, the Ibanez necks. You know, they're like
Yeah.
nothing. I can't play those. I mean, I'm sure you can get rid of it, but
I'm sure. But
since I will check it,
The
Homegrown
wizard.
Son. Oh, let's see. From our pal Monty, Homegrown Son, to the rest of you. My phone's pulling up. It's being slow. Oh, man. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the 3 pickup P90 thing he's been working on.
what is this thing?
Hold on,
Oh.
Sean. Hold on.
Oh, It's so thin.
Man, that's good
cool.
looking. Check out
Oh,
the
look
back.
at that back of that neck. That's pretty awesome.
I could go to, okay. I thought I could fly, but I can't. That's looking good. Look at that. That's sweet, man.
That's very nice.
That's coming along really well, actually. I like the fretboard and those dots. That's pretty cool. It's all like the tortoiseshell kind of
I didn't even
markers.
notice that the first time around.
And the back is awesome because you don't expect that.
No.
You know, the back of the guitar to be that.
To be that, and then to also have
killer.
The neck.
No, that
to
looks
be
good,
really,
man.
That's very
That
nice.
actually looks really, really
I
good.
dig it, dude.
I'll be interested to hear that one when you have to send us some actual video when you finish that one.
Yes. And Brian, I got your email. It popped up a couple minutes ago. I'll get that to you
Lies.
right after this. Whenever we wrap this up, I'll
What's
make sure
up,
to shoot
Todd
it over
Roy?
to you, baby. Todd
Okay.
Roy, he joined. He said, "And
And
Baxter,
Baxter
leaves."
left. That was actually why Baxter left. Baxter
Yeah.
said,
He
okay,
said, "Oh, it's
time
Todd,
for me to go. Gotta get out of here.
Mr. Roy." No,
Listen, Brian says the volume knob on Strats are awful for palm muting. That's one thing I've never had trouble with. I know some people do. I think it's all with where your hand sits naturally.
yeah,
That's never bothered me,
neither.
a bit. But
I get why it would.
I do too because I know some people play with their palm. But I usually have my hands down here, closer to the neck, when my fingers are supporting it. But
Yeah,
I've never.
Yeah, it's never been much of an issue for me, but you can do the crazy thing, the punk rock thing, and take a bunch of duct tape. And, have you ever seen any guitars like that?
Todd Rice says, I know, Baxter hates me. Sad face.
What I love is, and he tried to correct himself, but I know you got it right the first time, Todd. You said, love that T-shitty, Johnny. T-shitty, dude. Not good.
It's okay.
Not good.
Can't buy taste, people. You can't buy good tastes.
Oh, that's awesome.
See, Mighty Woodrow, have to agree with the Strat volume knob.
Yes, yeah. Hey.
I mean, we can't all be perfect.
We can't all be perfect. No, I do.
The Mighty
get it,
Woodrow
though.
sent me a picture of a freaking pedal board this morning. No, I mean it was I love a good, great, crazy pedal board, but it was over the top. It's one of those where it has the levels and the pedals are all stacked in there, and I don't even know what they all do. They're all here.
That's
I can't really
that's-
show it to you
That's
to everyone, but
man's rig, dude.
is it? Look at this. Look, hold on. The thumbnail, you look at that and you're like, that's a sweet looking board.
Yeah.
That's very neat. Mighty Woodrow, you need to post this in the Casino Crew so people can see it. That's too much. Too much.
I'll
I said
say
it.
for me, I think that is a lot. I don't
It's
like
how
boards
do you
that
use
do
all
that.
that. I just don't understand how you. I mean, you got to have the MIDI thing. That always seems over my head. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if you got it all set up right and you could just change patches. But I don't like to just have patches. I like to be able to have all this sound and then turn this one thing off. And I know you can still do that with the right MIDI setup. I just.
I
don't know.
personally like, and it's just probably from how much I understand it and my flexibility with it, but knowing individual pedals on my board and when to use them, when to take them in and out. But that's just me.
What are you gonna do? Okay, someone said that Ned just won the comments.
What did it say? My most extravagant pedal board was for when I played banjo.
Well, there you go.
I don't
mean,
think
I feel
that's the comment,
You need
right?
that. Nah, you need that for Ned. Ned always makes good comments, so I don't even know which one. He kind of always wins the comments.
That's dope, dude.
to be
Ned
fair.
also just did or maybe it hasn't happened yet, but it's a gig where he's playing just him.
No
solo.
bozos.
No bozos allowed.
That was my favorite part.
Kind of hate that we can't be there to see it.
I wish if it was driving range, even close.
Yeah.
We would maybe have to go.
There you go.
But what are you gonna do?
Ned, you just got a free plug on the gig, dude. So if you want to throw in any more details
Throw
in
it
there,
in.
we'll make sure.
He's like, no, I
to
don't
let
want people coming
know.
to my gig. It was
It's
like my
whoa.
gig that Brian showed up at. I was like, whoa.
Whoa, hey.
I'm just kidding. I like when people come to my gigs, but sometimes you get sick of your own self. You're like, God, I guess I'll play
Don't
these
I
bullshit
know it."
songs again.
Oh boy.
And then you're home, you're like, I should learn some new songs. Nah, it takes effort. It's like, nah, these are perfectly fine songs. They're great. No one out there cares, honestly. So it's like whatever.
It's cool to pick out some words. You know what we should do? A little challenge. I'm gonna pick out 3 songs for you. You pick out 3 songs for me,
That's a good idea.
and we do them in our own way. I've been playing some stuff at home.
There's some things I've been throwing out that I haven't played in a while or whatever, but it is fun to do that. And it's fun to do things that are a little outside.
Yeah.
What you maybe would normally do.
Oh, I finally get that comment now, Ned. Now that you say that, 3P90s or a 270. Is that a 3P90 or a 270?
3P90s.
I appreciate that.
Brian said, Jonathan meant to ask you what were you using the iPad for on Saturday at the gig. So the iPad is that's the biggest answer. But so the mixer for that little tower that I was plugged into is on there. So I can control the EQ and the sound, and there's reverb on that thing. And then I do have a set list on it. And for the things that I want to sing that I still need, I don't have any chords, but I have lyrics because I do forget lyrics on random things. Even some of the things I've been singing for like a million years. Like if I do like Come Together, I can never remember the words because they're so strange.
Yeah.
Mojo, platypus, blah blah.
Yeah.
It's like what
Here come old
So
top. Like,
I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah. And then the other thing though is people will ask me for requests, and sometimes they're holding wads of cash in their hand, and if they do that, chances are I can find the words on my old trusty iPad, and I can usually fake the rest of the way through just fine. So that was what it was.
Yeah. It's not all bad, me and Chelsea. I've been playing gigs with my friend Chelsea recently, and she was talking to me about how she's probably about to go the iPad route. She's got a binder, but
it's just
the problem with her binder is there was a song that she didn't have in there, and she was like, damn.
I can remember those days, right, for acoustic gigs. I just God, it's a lot to have up there and have to flip through the iPad. I mean, and Brian, like, it's not really like it's just the app. It's the Turbo Sound app on my iPad that lets me do the mixing, but. I started doing that like on the Nashville gigs, man, where it'd be 4 hours and you wouldn't really necessarily have the set lists. There was this shared Dropbox folder. There was a couple of them with like 1,000 charts in them, and you could pull up about anything on the Nashville numbers, and it was just like, bam, and then easy, right? And it is easy to get a little bit too dependent on that, right? So, because I don't think I hate that for any sort of original. Gig, like we're about to do
of course.
First Friday, like I would never have
no
what a loser.
But for something like that where somebody might come up and say, hey, can you play?
For cover gigs like that, I don't think there's any problem. I do hate this though. I hate when you see, please don't judge me for my hatred, but like I don't enjoy it when you see somebody with an iPad and they're just like glued to it.
Yes.
Like if you got to glance at it and then sing and play, awesome.
And then you do your.
I just don't like. I feel like it takes all the.
Yeah.
Feeling out. I don't know.
It's whenever you put all your energy into being like, it's work on it and pull back. It's a skill you can hone.
Todd said I'm heavily addicted to Candy Crush. Don't be telling my secrets, Todd Roy. No, it's true.
Are you? Okay, I was gonna say. You know what Jonathan's secret guilty pleasure is, and I'll say this because whenever I found out, I was like. What are you doing in here? Jonathan loves to read.
I actually do love to read.
Yeah, like I went.
Before I became a dropout and left college to pursue this sad, horrible underbelly of a music career, I was an English major.
Yeah, I found that out that day. I walked into your teaching room and you're reading a book, and it was a massive book.
What are you doing?
Like, whoa.
Are those words?
Are you literate?
No, my God. Whatever you're gonna do.
Oh man,
I do enjoy reading. In fact, I'm right in the middle. Here's my little Kindle app.
Here we go. What are we in now?
I'm right in the middle of The Eye of the Bedlam Bride, which is, if you know what Dungeon Crawler Carl is, a delightful series, and this is book 6. Friend sent me the first one, and I was like, "Dang it, I'm hooked."
I dig that you read so much. It inspires me to try to read more, even though I suck at just committing to the book. I'm like,
I mean, all I read these days are like trash, like fantasy and science fiction. Not really, but I mean, I love that stuff. Like well, you would talk about Dune and all that crap, but I mean, I really do. I love reading that junk. I've read all the Dune adjacent crap.
I would take that over reading a bunch of weird self-help things that I find on the
internet. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that.
Running into that. Oh, here we go. Received my Roland J. Beckerman books this week. Speaking of writing and reading.
Let's see. If you don't know Roland J. Beckerman.
That's right. Just
drummer and author extraordinaire. Pretty awesome dude. Now, he's had a cool life. Yeah. Like I feel like one day He could be the dude that like you have the movie of his life and it's in all these sections, like business section, antique mogul, you know, Mountain Dew family. Like that's just the whole story.
Mountain Dew
but,
family.
Man, dude,
I forgot about that.
I don't want to give too many details of all of it, but
I mean,
just like you know, hanging out with Roy Gallagher and like Butch Trucks and all those dudes.
Whenever you say
Cool down.
the phrase Renaissance man, I could see Roland fitting into that category.
And he sort of does know a bit about pretty much everything. That's what I aspire to.
But he never acts like he knows
Like conversation
all
about
of
anything.
everything. He's
That's
just
right.
like, well, hey, you know, if you did this. We were recording one time, and he said, what you want to do is pretend that cymbal is standing straight up vertically and go just a little bit more above that. And he was like, try that for your overheads and see what happens. I was like, that's cool. I was like, damn. He has his stuff
pretty
down.
smart. Greg says, I have had a college football game playing on my iPad during my gig, but it's there for the lyrics because I screw up order verse. Exactly, right? And I use it so, like, it's like 15% of the songs probably. But, man, it's nice for those 15%, you know? And you think singing them over and over and over. I mean, most of the time it's like a new stuff you add, but there are, like I said, there are old ones I just cannot. I'll do them backwards. And no one cares or knows, but whatever.
What I find to be hard on my singing journey that I've been on for the last 8 months to 12 or whatever it is I can remember the chorus and all those good bits. It's usually that starting line, like those first
if you can
5 words.
If you can get the first word,
I'm like,
I will say that when you're trying to remember lyrics, if you actively are like, what is it?
It goes on further.
You got to just relax and be like, oh, when it's time, I'll know.
Yeah.
Because that's literally how it works. Like it's just an odd thing. Your memory in your brain. I don't know. I just don't know.
If you were in the royal court of ages past, Sean, would you be a minstrel or jester? What is what? What is that? I know what a jester is. I'm a
the fool.
Okay, what's the minstrel?
Like a bard going around singing songs.
Oh.
You know, or you might be the minstrel in the court. You might be the guy who just sits there and plays his little lute.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
I would be a fine minstrel that sides as a jester, and I'd be really bad at being a jester.
See, the thing about the jesters and most of the stuff is they're actually the ones pulling a lot of strings. Like, you think they're a fool, but they're sort of like, they're kind of like the guy who's playing everybody a lot of times. So I kind of dig that.
I get that.
I dig that idea. I dig it.
I view by the threads.
Extra Screen says I just make new lyrics up on the fly when I can't remember them, and then drunk people come afterwards and like, tell me they never knew the real words of that song. That's actually kind of funny. There you go. I kind of like that idea. I kind of like it.
I'd be a menstruation, says the Mighty Woodrow.
Old Todd Roy says he reads a lot. That does not surprise me. I feel like you can tell.
Yeah.
You can, I think that's a deal.
Pretty cool, I think.
Todd Roy also says there's a 100% chance Clapton is on cocaine in that pic on my shirt. Absolutely. I feel like there's whole years where if you had any picture, you could pretty much be like, yeah, Clapton was on cocaine.
Cocaine.
That's what he did. And now listen,
Cocaine.
let's talk about Clapton for a minute. I know you love it.
Go for it.
I didn't realize, like, he gets all this shit. Oh, he took George Harrison's wife. Blah, blah, blah. I traded a guitar. Turns out, my wife was telling me when we went to see Ringo about old George cheating with Ringo's wife. I mean, so, you know what? Clapton was it's just what they were doing back then.
Yeah.
It was just free loving and heroin.
Well, and in that situation with Clapton and George Harrison, I think we can all agree George Harrison is the scumbag there. Like, he traded his wife for a guitar. I mean, Eric Clapton loved this woman. Chances are Eric Clapton was like, what's it got to be,
Listen,
man?
I love my wife a lot. I do. She might still be watching.
What if it's a 59 Les Paul?
But I'm just saying, if you've been married for a while, you're telling me you never thought about, you know what? Maybe it'd be easier. I'm just saying. I think we're all adults here. We can all. I think Christy, if you're here, chime in.
Ned said, how come nobody stole Lennon's wife?
Oh. Oof.
Chuck Berry tried to.
Well, I tried to kill her, murder her. That's the best face I've ever seen on any like real reaction to anything. That was almost like a reaction, like a prank video reaction before that was a thing, you know?
What a way to keep it cool and like not just dump into it. You know what I mean? Like Chuck Berry, a professional. Because you hear all these other stories about Chuck Berry just flying off the handle, like punching Keith Richards in the face because he touched his guitar, yelling at people, other things. And he played it cool. He did all right.
He did it.
If my wife is already running around on me, I'd trade her a KFC $5
sure.
filled up.
I mean, you know.
Damn.
That is hard for me to get my brain around, like everybody just running around. I'm just like, I don't know. Because sometimes I think, man, I would have loved to have been around for that whole scene. But then I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I can handle the old country boy for me. Yeah, dude. You know who you don't hear about? I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like you didn't hear about that shit as much in like the real like redneck Southern rock bands.
Oh yeah, no.
My old lady? What? Don't touch my old lady. You
would almost expect it to be more like a motorcycle gang sort of situation there, where it's like they just pass them around, but it didn't seem like that was the case. It was like, no.
I mean, things might go to hell and they might get a divorce at some point because somebody, you know what I mean. But it wasn't like, oh, no big deal. It wasn't that. Deal, yeah. It wasn't that thing. You know.
Hey.
I don't know.
Or your Mick Jagger.
Hey, you do what you want to do. No, we're not judging. Yeah. We're just saying.
We're not judging.
For me. That's all.
A lot of VD floating around.
Yeah, see, everyone in Fleetwood Mac hooked up with each other. Stevie hooked up with, I mean, that's true. See, I don't know.
Skinner was passing around young Linda Blair, apparently. Ooh, I don't know. I like to think, I mean, they all died in that airplane crash, so who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who is to say, man?
I'm as free as a bird.
Who's to say? We're in the weeds. We're into the weeds. Foghat would play the Coliseum on Saturday night and be playing catch with their kids Sunday morning. What? Not to get too serious, I think that's kind of the dream.
That is the dream.
That's kind of the dream.
That absolutely is.
That's the.
I think that's the way that you got to do it. You got to figure out how to do. If you can manage that and get to that level and be like, all right.
I just started watching I haven't been super into Bert Kreischer lately, but he did a podcast with the Ray Clay Strays.
Yeah. He started to go more the musician route, but
I kind of dig it. Well, I just started like the first, my like 20-30 minute drive to work this morning. I started listening to it and I was like, cool. And I think that they're going to get into talking about like how they kind of do that thing, because I do feel like they're kind of blowing up. So that that I'm interested in that, about when I see bands who are successful, who also don't feel like they're just. Sometimes you see these successful bands and you feel like their lives are kind of. And then sometimes you see guys and you feel like they're sort of grounded and they're making great art and they have like a family and stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That to me, that is almost like the more crazy thing, because the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll, we're like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. Yes. So when you see people who are like grounded and not making crappy music, and you know what I mean? It's like, oh,
yeah, and
weird.
There's like a family center.
Yeah, dude.
And unfortunately, I do feel like you see more of this in this new kind of Americana wave of what people will call like the new outlaws almost. Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers, the Red Clay Strays, Jason Isbell, sorta. But, like...
He had a lot going on. He had a lot of extenuating
all those guys seem to have this arc that goes drugs and alcohol, get inspired, get clean, focus on my family. 'Cause even Jason Isbell, he canceled a week of his tour that he announced because his daughter was doing a play. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I'm like, that's cool. Yeah.
And, if
do that in a heartbeat, dude.
If your wife couldn't play in tune and had that dry, horrible tone, you'd probably leave her too.
And she also hates 12-string electric guitars. Like, what's wrong with her?
There's a lot going on.
I'm sorry. That's unforgivable. 12-string electrics, dude? You don't like them? Take them off every record ever? You're wrong. It is weird.
It is weird. Listen to Bill Murray, metal.
I have listened to Bill Murray.
I was hoping that was Bill Murray. I didn't know.
I'm sure Brian F. knows this. Bill Murray, the main dude there, obviously not Bill Murray, but that guy.
I've seen Bill Murray at a River Dogs game.
So dumb.
Not this Bill Murray, actual Bill Murray. But
he was in a band called Attack Attack that I was super into when I was in school because I was a little scene emo kid. Oh yeah, all the kids you taught, if they didn't come in and say, I gotta learn Stickly, or it's something off the record. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Crazy, dude. Man.
Apparently Duff McKagan, a rock star, but is grounded. does a podcast with his wife.
Who do you think is the most down to earth rock star that you're like, I want to talk to that guy? I want to have a few hour conversation. For me, Dave Grohl is right up there. Baxter said Dave Grohl. I agree with that. I also think it would be him or Sturgill Simpson for me. Jack White would be another good one. Having met,
I didn't
Sweet
expect
Jack.
that of Jack White.
I didn't
but,
either.
But after being in the room with him,
Dude,
yeah, which is really weird,
It
right?
is,
Because
yeah.
it's like, oh, you're Jack White, but no, he was such a nice.
shook
Just
Baxter's
normal.
hand and like
Um,
approached in a way that I was like, wow, what a guy. I know. I was like, he does look like a guy that I'm like, man, I could if I had a Jack White hug, that might fix a lot of things, and not everything, but a lot of things in that moment. You'd be like, wow, thanks, Jack.
I
You're
think
sweet.
some of the more recent, and I'm sure everybody mellows out with age, right? But
Yeah.
maybe, like even the Slash interviews you see lately, he seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
just kind of,
Well, him doing this blues album, even though some people are like, oh, it's silly and it's dumb, and he's doing the slide thing. I'm like, I think it's kind of cool, and it seems like he's just like, I want to go and play guitar and have fun. And it's not playing an arena, you know? It's
Yeah.
like small theaters and stuff. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
I'm still trying to think who I think that would be like most down to earth, fun to talk to.
I do feel like
Because I think for it to be right, like it's got to be an actual rock star. Like you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that I hold in really high regard that no one on the street
same.
knows who they would. You
That's
know what I
like
mean? Like
Sturgill
amazing guitar
Simpson, I
players
say.
or Sturgill's
Yeah.
getting up there. Where like you know,
But it's not that level. Go
even
ahead.
Jason Isbell like is a rock star.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that only
Yeah.
listen to like top 40 country radio, they don't know who Jason Isbell is. You know what I mean? But like a rock star who is like
Yeah.
rich and famous. I don't know who that would be.
You know, I've always heard good things about him, and I'm not much of a fan, but
Vince Neil?
Vince Neil. Yeah.
Yes,
No, Peter Frampton. Everybody seems to have a good interaction with Peter
I
Frampton.
could see that.
He's not my guitar hero, but I know that, you know, he's obviously great. I don't know. A lot of people like him.
This is not someone that I would necessarily like. You know, it's probably none of our like sort of main genre. Like Brad Paisley is. I've met him a time or two. Like just in like a 10-second thing.
Great things about him, too.
Seems super nice and kind. And I knew some folks in his crew who said he was like ridiculously good to them. You know,
Dude, knowing so Chandler, he's an old student of Jonathan's and Baxter's, and also has gone on to Nashville, and he's pursuing his own music career now, doing great, amazing things. He was the biggest Brad Paisley fan, and I know when he met him at the Nashville Guitar Show, there's no way he didn't fangirl out. And Brad Paisley did a picture and talked to him,
Yeah, I
and
mean, that's
all
cool.
kinds of stuff. I was like, that's pretty neat.
And by then, I mean, he was a little bit more onto his Dwight Yoakam face.
Yeah.
But
He kind of looked at me, he's like,
"What a strain," you know. But Chandler, check out Chandler's got music out. So Chandler
Yeah.
Dozier, if you're into that stuff, it looks great. It sounds great. I'm proud of old Chandler.
yeah, he's
You
crushing,
know,
dude.
I mean, like
He's playing the underdog, which
he
I'm
just
like,
went out there
that's
and
dope.
did it. Like Chandler's a good example.
Yeah.
Was not ready to go to Nashville. And I mean, he went to Belmont to school.
Yeah.
But, you know, it wasn't like, okay, I got it all together. I'm going to go out and make, like, no, he went out there and figured it out, like, as he was doing it.
Yes.
And now he's, like, out gigging and doing the thing and, like, making records and actual videos. Really, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very, you know, and Baxter did most of his, like, taught him since he was a kid. Pretty impressive. Pretty awesome.
But he's doing
So.
dope stuff. If you're out there, go and try and seek out Chandler Dozier. If you need to find his schedule times, if you're in Nashville, message one of us or any of us, or look him up on Instagram. Chandler Dozier Music. Dozier being Dozier. There you go.
I do think,
Yeah.
speaking of nice superstars, obviously, again, Charlie Starr in some circles. Not as well, you know what I mean? But
Me
like
neither.
to me, they're kind of.
Oh.
But the nicest, sweetest dude.
so sweet,
Went
dude.
out of his way to talk to us when he did not have to.
Yes. And also, like,
To give us a few minutes.
yeah, you could tell he was very busy in that moment, and there was a lot
Well, I was gonna
going
say a
on.
lot of people, even if they are great, and they're about to walk out on stage, they get in that zone. They're not going to talk to some losers for 4 or 5 minutes. But he just went. I mean, you know, I bet Warren Haynes is like that way. You know, I bet he's you know, he seems like he'd be cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still don't know who the person I'd want to.
I was gonna say,
sit and hang out with
I'm gonna go
would
down
be.
this list here, and because everybody has sent in some really cool ones. So I'm gonna start with Homegrown Son, and then we'll go down. Tom Beatty apparently hung out with Dee Snider, which is cool. Very cool.
I already know Tom Beatty's full of shit from his last comment. I met Jonathan Robinson once. He was a nice guy. Clearly,
All right.
you've never talked to Jay Taylor.
So,
Thank you, Tom.
all right. Joe Satriani was a good interview in my days as a freelance photographer. I think he is one of those guys where in the guitar sphere,
He's a superstar.
yeah.
But when do you think the peak of Joe Satriani was? Like, Steve Vai maybe had more of a peak from playing with, like, David Lee Roth and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
For example.
Like, before he was just a... But like, when do you reckon Satriani's peak was? Like, when was he the most famous?
I feel like the 90s. Whenever
he
he
have hair?
shaved his head.
Okay.
The moment he shaved
like, the
his
whole
head.
Surfing with an Alien, when that came out?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I would assume so. Because that, to me, is always how I have known of Joe Satriani. And I haven't deep dived, but just from
My first
the
memories,
sphere.
like, first knowledge of him, he had the shaved head and the glasses, you know?
Yeah,
and
he's like,
but
whoa.
it's really weird to see his eyes to me still. Well, I'm like, oh, my God. But and then seeing the pictures of him, I know it now, but the first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, weird, you know?
Strange.
I mean, obviously, he has made some awesome guitar music. I think a huge part of his legacy is all the people he taught to play as well.
Yeah.
Like Kirk Hammond, you know, obviously Steve Vai were his students, which is kind of cool.
That is sick, yeah.
So I
Well,
don't know.
then we got Taj Mahal from Mayor McCheese.
Nope.
Taj Mahal, what do you think about that?
I love Taj Mahal. I mean, I don't know about him like as a personal, if he'd be cool or not. But Leaving Trunk's one of my favorite things. I like to cover that song a lot.
We got a lot of Brian Setzer in here. There's a handful of those. There's a lot of the same ones, so I'm just going to kind of call out the ones that seem to...
Like, Brian Setzer seems like he'd be awesome to talk to now. I wonder if he would have been more cocky, like, when it was the Stray Cats, like, when they were at the top of their game. But some of that just might be a kind of persona, because I think when you look like that, when you got the, like, leather jacket and badass stacked hair and stuff, you're like, oh, that guy's...
That's
like,
your attitude.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But no, he seems like he would be a very cool... Oh, we got power blinking. If we suddenly go out, boys, it's the power.
Know what happened? Did it come right back?
Nope. All right. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Sweet.
Hootie seems cool.
Hootie?
I bet he's cool. Like, I've told you guys this story before, I think, that I painted the guitar player from Hootie's house. And he was nice. Down to earth, dude.
What, how's it go?
You know.
Which one?
Hold my hand.
I'm thinking of the other one that's like time. Yeah. I didn't think it was time for some reason.
Why you run away? Whatever the words are. Who knows what the real words are. That's a good one. I like Let Her Cry. I think it's songs. I don't know if those are really good songs or if they were just from my that time.
Yeah. JP just messaged me. JP, I wanted to thank you.
Shout out
for a little bit of help with me last night, and yeah, you're the bomb, dude.
Mary McCheese is holding out for that Chicken Foot reunion. I remember Chicken Foot.
Cheeky Foot.
Old Sammy Hagar and Joe Satriani. All that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Steven from the Deftones. All he does is smoke weed, chill, and laugh. I mean, you know.
Why not?
Someone says Chris Robinson seems like he'd go. I bet Chris Robinson is probably fine if you're just like, hey, how's it going? But seems like he might have some tendencies to.
Yeah. Like, if you catch it seems like it'd be, if you've ever seen Get Him to the Greek, might be a little bit like that, where you just got to go for the ride. Like, that, especially you're talking about 90s Chris Robinson.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You're in for the ride, and you're like,
some of those interviews, they're just straight talk shit.
Like,
you know,
want to
you're
yell
seeing
at
some of those.
ZZ Top? Yeah, let's yell at ZZ Top, you know?
Or like they're having the feud with Aerosmith. I mean, like, and his brother, right, always kind of has the face like he's a little bit pissed to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know.
Damn it, Chris. I told you.
I have been accused of that I kind of can scowl in my resting I don't know if it's quite resting bitch face, but just resting scally face.
People tell me the same, man. I just don't listen to him. Maybe I should. He got that American alloy.
So, what are you gonna do?
That's right.
The SE. Man, I would have loved to have seen Gary Moore live. I think, you know, of all the great, like, kind of shreddy, amazing players.
Yeah. I'm a huge Gary Moore fan. And it's funny, people assume that I'm not. And I think that's funny. I love Gary Moore. It's
How
great.
could you not be?
Somebody said a new Foo Fighters song just dropped. Is that true, Bulk Hogan? Or are you screwing with me? Are you screwing with me right now?
I do not know.
The Black Crowes were the original Oasis. I wish Baxter was here to have that conversation. Oh my God.
I think he means in the way that they were like, super popular band, but brothers who kind of decided they hate each other for a while.
Straight up. Yeah. I can see that.
In that way, yeah, there's a lot of parallels.
Kind of crazy to me. Didn't Rick Rubin produce the first or second album? Which one was it?
I'm not sure.
I thought he helped produce it.
That sounds kind of right. Could be true. That little 5 Points area in Atlanta where the Black Crows used to hang was pretty cool. Haven't been down there. Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
I would like to see the Black Crows have a comeback. I don't think they would have a comeback as big as Oasis, but to have to see them be more integrated in that Atlanta scene right now where it's like Eddie 9-Volt and you got Charlie Starr and those guys and there just seems to be a really good vibe in Atlanta of guitar players.
That whole area from Macon to Atlanta seems like it's kind of a hot spot at the moment. Like for the stuff that I dig, I mean,
think it's pretty cool.
I do think it's cool, man. And
you got Rich Scholl down there too, just to say his name.
Because it's not just like this blues rock, southern rock stuff. It's like you got guys like Eddie who I think are pumping it up into a more modern thing. You know what I mean? Like
it's like an infusion of all those styles, like R&B too. Yeah, right. And like from what's his name? Can't think of it now. Sex Machine, James Brown. Like from James Brown and other R&B influences all the way over to the blues stuff, which is cool.
Ryan Ainsley, I went to your store once and Baxter walked out when I was leaving. He said he couldn't remember where he parked his car. I didn't know how to respond, so I just said, I don't know, and walked off. It's kind of great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, Todd Roy, I got you. I knew what you meant when you said it. Extra Screen says, I saw Black Crows play a charity event at a Charlotte golf course. They were kind of pissed about all the khakis and tassel. See, but I appreciate that in a rock band. I'm like, yes, that's what you're going to rail against. That's the rock and roll. That kind of is, right? Like, I think we're missing that some. Like, it's too. And I can't speak because I think I'm pretty nice. I would never be like, you sons of, And
I'm the same way.
But like when I see guys who really that's not a show. I feel like that's kind of just them. I feel like that kind of is Chris Robinson. Like he doesn't really mean it he's just like I've got friends like that. You know what I mean? Who are just. They're just wide open all the time, right? Yeah. And that stuff just comes out of their mouth, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I dig that. I think that's kind of fun.
I feel like that is that thing, that Rockstar thing, or whatever it is, like being unapologetic and just saying how you feel.
I saw. Maybe you guys know more about it than I do, because I don't really know all this much about it. But like obviously, they broke up and had all that stuff, and then they had the Chris Robinson Brotherhood or whatever, or the Rich Rock. Like that whole thing. They were both kind of doing stuff, and then they talked about getting back together, and they've had a pretty successful reunion, I think, lately. I mean, it's not like blown up the way you're talking about, but it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But I saw some threads where like they were talking about, I guess there were certain people who were pissed in the '90s about them jamming because they didn't want they wanted the songs because they were like pop songs on the radio, right? Like that's the you know what I mean? Like I want to hear them jam, right? Like, but and I was kind of sad that it sounded like they kind of made the choice to we'll play the songs as they are and not jam as much. I'd like to see them live just to see how that plays out.
Yeah, if they still do that.
They're not really they're not a jam band, you know what I mean? But I want to hear extended like solos, and I want to hear
with guitar players of that caliber. Like I think they are actively trying to go somewhere every night when they play.
Friggin' Magnetones and RJ amps all stacked up. Marshalls. Yeah, no, I want to hear it. That's what I want to hear. I mean.
Tom Beatty asked a question that I know you'll know the answer.
Oddly did play with the Crows for a while. Absolutely.
That's right.
He for sure did. Till he landed from one set of crows to the main crow.
Eddie Vedder seems like a nice guy who could be a little jerky. I
probably
could definitely see that in the way where it's like you're having a great day and then you got to eat somewhere and you order something and he's like,
he pulls out his ukulele. He's like, let me play a nonsense song.
You're gonna eat that pork?
I should recognize your face.
The worst is if he did that accordion song. What's it called? Bugs or whatever?
Oh, no.
No good.
No.
I could go for a little jerky. I bet you could, Ned.
Tim says he got their old drummer's audiobook, hard to handle, but I haven't listened to it yet. That's cool. I do need to read the book. Yeah, I need to read it. That's actually Okay. That's cool. And the Jimmy Page stuff. I mean, that is a whole. You kind of forget about, or I forget about that, but that's pretty cool.
You know, I think Eddie Vedder is going to continue to age into being like the new Neil Young. Somebody said in there he gets very political on stage now and stuff.
Listen,
they're doing these 3-hour shows. Just my take.
There are certain bands that I love, and then the little closer I get to them, I'm like, oh, I love it less. So I feel like some of those things, it's better just to be like, I enjoy this music on a surface level from afar. Some things are better that way. Some things you get a little closer to them, and you're like, oh my God, I love this even more. Yeah. You know? And it's all subjective, right? Because it's just your personality.
I know
and
what
sort
you
of.
mean, though.
But
I have that with a few bands where I'm like, I'm gonna be it. Pearl Jam is one of those bands for me. I'm like, I'm in this
because I like Pearl Jam,
Love 'em.
but kind of want to say, and I did actually enjoy the documentary.
I haven't seen it.
I thought it was cool, the PJ 20 or whatever it was called.
Oh, I need to see that.
You know, that was neat. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. And the Black Crowes, I've just always been like, man, I really like these songs, but I've never been such a deep fan that I like know all the history and stuff.
Well, and stuff like that, I think is okay. Like that's some of my favorite bands. I'm like, it's okay, because I mean, it's all about the music then.
Yeah, not cool. Pretty cool. After watching Adam Sandler do a parody of Pearl Jam, I can't unhear it. I can't take any of their songs seriously. I mean, that is kind of a problem, you know. Kind of a problem.
I want to let Mr. Paul know, Mr. Bean Lambs,
our pal Bean Lambs.
And JP messaged me again on that. I wanted to say real quick, just to plug JP. Go check out Weymouth the Band too. We've been plugging our friends today, our buddies. Go check out Weymouth the Band. They're really cool. If you like pop punk and like dabs of emo in there, really cool. Paul, I didn't get back to you this weekend. I've kind of been going through a lot of stuff, but I'll message you back today and we will talk on it. I have not received anything back from Ed yet either. Sorry. Now back to the stream.
Old Ed.
But I want to let you know
he's
that
going through stuff. His sourdough starter died, and we all know how hard that is.
No.
No. Did you know that's a
this
thing?
happen?
My wife is crazy into this whole sourdough thing, and she makes delicious bread.
Sourdough is delicious. I didn't know.
And it's like
I know it's
you
hard.
don't get all the problems of like gluten and stuff. It didn't have to be. Christy can make sourdough bagels. They're like real bagels. I know. I would bring you some, but she's very slow about it, so I hoard them. You know, Christy, if you're watching, I just kid.
Your rations.
But she's always like feeding her starter, and it's like it bubbles up. I think that someone's left some like jar of something rotten on my counter, but it's the sourdough, and it bubbles up and it does weird things. I guess it's supposed to do that. I don't know. Sorry, Christy, if I'm like ratting you out too because you're doing something wrong. But anyways, it's very good, but people take it very seriously, and there are starters who have like been passed down from family to family. I'm sure Mary Cheese knows all about this. He'll probably correct me on the thing I'm saying wrong. But I was like, what? These little living things that shoot out bread, because it does. They make these little things, you put them in there, and it's not much of the starter, the nasty, rotten, whatever it is, with yeast and stuff, and it goes in there.
Crazy, dude.
It's
I
just,
didn't know that was the process, but I will say this, as your guilty pleasure is reading, my guilty pleasure is cooking. I really do love cooking. I don't like to tell people that, and it's fun. I don't know why I don't like to tell people. I get it from my dad, probably. Skylar is the better cook still, but
your dad.
He's a cooking motherfucker, all right? We got to give some props to him.
Every man thinks they can barbecue. They do. They're like, my barbecue is the best. They all do. And usually it is pretty good.
Yeah.
And usually you eat it and you're like, oh, that is good.
Yeah.
But it's a rare thing when a man makes you some barbecue and you're like, holy and when I went to Sean's family thing, we like jammed, played some music. His dad cooked for all these people. So it wasn't even like I cooked for 5 people. Cooked for like 200 people.
Yes.
And I'm tell you what.
Yeah.
That was. Whew.
He did pretty good that night.
I know your father's not watching.
I know.
But I got to give that man his props. Like I was like, wow.
He did.
I was impressed.
What was it? Ribs, barbecue, like a half a pig. It was the whole thing. He can cook his ass off. I'll tell you that much.
He can.
I watched him do that like growing up, and it was weird because he never like talk about it with anybody. And that's probably like I said where I get that from. He would like make cakes like every weekend. Like he'd make cakes. He'd come home and he's like, I remember this one time he made lemon chicken rice with some kind of crazy sauce and all this stuff, and it only did it that one time. Like he just would do stuff. He would try things. I was like, that's cool. So very neat. My dad is an alright dude.
Your dad's good. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Chad Roy says he loves sourdough bread. It's addictive. One more thing I had on my way to work this morning, and most mornings, have eggs from my own little stash of chickens on Christie's sourdough. And my lovely wife, every day, wrapped up in a paper towel. I walk out the door. Listen, I'm just a poor musician, but that's kind of winning.
That's those moments. I went home last night
I'm
and
doing
had
all right. Life is
one of
pretty good.
those moments. I got home really late last night. I've had, I got an issue with my hand. I'm sitting there, I'm aggravated and stuff. I walk in. Skylar, you clean the house. And not that she has to do any of this. We do it together. So she cleaned up the house. She made me a big old steak dinner thing.
He's like, clean that house.
Yeah, no, we get into it. No.
Clean it.
She goes
What are you doing?
all out and does all that, and I sit down and I'm cutting it with my little bummed up hand and stuff, and I'm like eating it. I'm like, damn, this is amazing. And she just sits there and we talk for like an hour. It was really nice. Wow, Anyways, I was asked what my favorite thing to cook is. I found this cool recipe one time, and it's probably the most interesting thing to cook because it's not so much a time challenge, but it is like it's a mixture of ingredients. It is an Alfredo that I make with a steak side and stuff, but the Alfredo is the base is avocado, and if you have a ripe avocado, it comes out amazingly. So it's like way healthier for you. Not that I usually eat the shit out of some cheese, dude, but this stuff was killer. So avocado Alfredo, check it out. Go look that up.
Now I don't know what spicy licorice chicken is, but I would like to know that.
That sounds delicious.
Also, Tom says, "How's the road to 100K working out so far?" Tom, it's going very slowly.
As you can
I'm not
see.
saying we're not rolling, but it's more like it's like one of those little things you stand on with the one wheel and lean forward. It's more that than a bus blazing down the highway.
Yes, we do have
But that's
some
okay.
stuff to give away though. That at some point I guess we should.
We do
bring
need to do that.
We got that preamp pedal.
We got some things.
Sweet Mark Stannon donated.
We still,
Yep.
God, we've been so lazy. We got the Not a Dumble behind us that we got to make and raffle off.
Yep, we got that too. So we're gonna work on those, and I think it would be maybe cool. I'm just thinking out loud right now. If we did a live stream and we built the Not a
Put it together.
Maybe we get all three of us to do it, and we sit here and rock on it, and then we'll color it however you want. I'll get some paints from Skylar, and we can kind of like design it.
It won't work anymore because
we'll let everybody.
After we drench it in paint,
we'll do a little vote or something, and then maybe we give it away on that live stream. We find the person that should go to.
Do we still have a Silver Sky we're giving away? I thought we gave away a Silver Sky.
We already did, yeah. I think that's the old one.
That's the old one. That went to, is that the one, he was Canadian, right?
Yeah, I think that was us getting to 50K. So,
something.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still up on our
Or
YouTube
maybe we did have a
channel.
different one for the 100K. I can't even keep it all straight. We started it so long ago. But anyways, we'll get it.
Put some bikini babes in your thumbnail.
That's
And
all
you'll get 100,000.
we're missing.
That's all
Todd
we're
Roy says even Andersons are having a tough time getting to 1 million subs.
Yeah.
God bless our pals in Andersons. We just had a little chat with them.
Lee
the other day.
Anderton is an amazing dude. Lee, I'm sure you're not watching this because you're a very busy guy, but I respect the hell out of you. Anytime I feel like I say his name on the internet, I want people to know. I respect the hell out of that man.
No, we did talk about a giveaway where we kind of stacked it in y'all's favor.
Yeah.
Because we love you guys the most, Tom. Because you come and say funny things to
The
us.
Toms. Yes, we do have an idea for that.
Yep, that's
So,
true.
It'll be cool.
It is true. People in the 60s used to do cool hippie paint jobs on guitars. We need to bring this back, like the Money Strat. I do think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sean's got a twin like that.
Had
a twin like that.
What, I still got it. What?
Yeah.
What is it though?
Cool hippie paint jobs.
Oh yeah, I can take a picture of that. I'll post it in
That's
the casino.
some of Skylar's work, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah. She crushed that.
Yeah, for sure.
She painted an amp for it was the Harrisons. She painted that Princeton for Sean, and that
She
looked
did
killer.
that one guitar for that guy too.
Yeah, she did. She did it might be illegal to say, but she did a
fine.
Crash Series Strat for somebody, and it came out
It's
looking
fine.
phenomenal. She was so nervous about doing that. I was like, "You're gonna crush it. Just do it," and then killed it. So
Crushing it.
yeah, if you ever have a custom paint job that you want, my old lady's more than happy to do it. She's also done some tattoo design work for some people from the
She's
YouTube
very good.
channel. She's awesome. So yeah, you guys are awesome. I want to say that I feel like we're winding down right now.
Winding down.
But thank you
Anytime
guys.
we get emotional and getting all sentimental.
You
We love you guys.
seriously.
We're
No.
towards the end.
But you guys are you're awesome, and it's cool
true.
to be able to do this, and I'm glad that we get to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
So, thanks for always being here and being fun, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say the enjoyment of the community, whether it's talking junk about Eric Clapton or talking junk to me about Eric Clapton. I love all of the facets of it, and it's fun, and you guys are kind of like our own little family here. So, thanks for being great. Heck yeah.
True.
Anything Johnny wants to add?
I think that's it. There was nothing else to add. I felt like there was some video that dropped that we maybe should talk about, but I can't remember what it was. So we'll think about it. If it's important, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But anyways, remember, like Baxter said, lots of trips and vacations going on for the month of July. So if you see less content from us, it's just because we're all scattered around. I think we're kind of set on our live streams for the most part.
Yep.
I think we've got it sorted. But might be a slightly slower summer. Nothing's going away. We'll be back, and there will be stuff coming out. So don't.
That's right. So,
but maybe slightly less. Yeah. But anyways, you guys are awesome. Hit like. Hit subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Share things. That helps with the whole crazy road to 100K.
Yep.
And man, we'll
share it into forums. Go crazy.
Share it into forums.
Make
Go
posters.
crazy. Make people hate us because they're like they keep talking about these damn casino guitars things. God, I wish we were going to Fender Japan. That's a dream.
That is a dream.
But
one day
it has been mentioned.
Yes.
By some of the people who can make it happen. So
I think
Tom's is weird. I love Tom's confidence. One day we're gonna get there. But y'all have a good day, man. Have a good happy 4th if you're in the old US of A. And if you're not, have a great week. Like Todd Rowe. Canada. See you guys later.